get to oneself. Akoko, Iwe Akoko, and then we call it Avenya Patima. We have Siosio. Almost every herb can protect and to project you, but there are ways to use the herb. It's not just a herb, it's just there are ways to use the herb so that get the maximum benefit out of nature. Can you change? Are you changing that one?
No. For YouTube.
Well, because I need this phone to talk to what do you call it, MTN people, because they can't just hold my money without supplying me the service, and I'm suffering and struggling here. I have to use other people, use other monies to just to do my program. And to get this fiber here, it was not a small money to get it here.
After we are trying to get a YouTube, Zoom is also live, so we are trying to get a YouTube, so that after the live we'll call them.
So I want you people to be able to play videos, and the way it is now, you can't play the video because you don't have the fiber working.
When we get this device there, then we can start disconnecting the manual ones and start the video. In a few minutes time to be able. You know how it is not to be fixed.
Ooh. Mr. Save said, please can you tell me about the Ifa Igbe Orupom? I don't know what it is. I don't know exactly what it is because I practice Afa, not Ifa. I practice Afa, not Ifa. So we have the Ewe Afa is a little bit different from the Yoruba Ifa, even though the Ewe Afa, the origin is from Yoruba Ifa, but it's a little bit different. So when you call the names of things, I cannot know all in Yoruba language unless you break it down to explain it what you mean by Igbe Olorupon or Otupon. Betrupon. It's talking about Betrupe. We will talk about Betrupon, okay? Yeah. Betrupon. I'm not very conversant with Betrupon. I'm not very good in that one, so I don't know if I can get someone to get it explained to you, Betrupon. I don't know. So if that is your Odu or in your initiation, I'm very sure your teacher and other people will be able to tell you, or maybe other people on the platform can tell you what Betrupon is. Betrupon. I think it has something to do with something that will happen, but it will not last long before it will stop from. It's like playing a drum that you play, but it will not last long before the sound will not be heard anymore. So, but I'm not very sure if I know better way.
So The thing Kofi added, he says the story of the ant and the woodpecker.
The ant and the woodpecker.
Yeah.
So what is it?
At their mom's funeral.
The ant and the woodpecker at their mother's funeral.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that one there. The ant is so small, so nobody was respecting it, and the woodpecker was bigger, but the ant was able to bury the mother and made a coffin and everything, and was able to bury the mother successfully. But there must be the other things. Just that's the story. But I'm not so conversant with all the Afa do or police. I'm still learning about Afa, so I don't know all about every poly in Afa. The ones that I understand is what I can talk very much about. I know Betru Boas Shamba is saying it's about the story of ant and woodpecker. In the story, it is said that the ant is very small, people didn't respect him, but he was able to do things greater than his sibling, the woodpecker, who was bigger, who refused to contribute. But the ant did everything, contribute. Maybe it will be a more. The ant did everything and was able to bury the mother successfully. Yeah, that's why I think I can have some idea about that. But I don't know the really details of the Betrupo. No, we call it Betrupe. The Amish will say Betrupe. Then we have Chibuzo saying, good evening, Papa. Sorry I joined late. Chibuzo, we are even very late ourselves because we are having challenges with the internet, and we couldn't even connect the fiber yet. So you are not late at all. We are just trying to put things together. We have a Kwekupoku here. It's the first time joining. Hello, Kwekupoku. Thank you very much for joining. We are very grateful to you. That's on TikTok.
If you are going back to Facebook.
Okay, so we're going back to Facebook and see if we have anything there. I think we have Rich Nathan. Is that the latest one?
Yes,
Rich Nathan. Is it Nathan or yeah?
Yes.
Papa, how can I know my spiritual faith course? Believers in everything, but how can I hold my own faith aspect, please? Mr. Rich Nathan, say we at African Magic Temple, we don't use faith here. We are not people who believe in anything. We don't believe in anything. What we do here is we practice practical aspect of spirituality, and we don't believe, but we know what to use and what to do to find answers to our problems. But we are not believers, and we don't have faith in anything. So it's not, we don't work here with faith, and we don't work here with belief. We are working with practicality, experiment, and experience. That's why African Magic Temple is totally different. We are not using faith here, so I don't know how you can have faith, or what you have to have faith in, or what you have to believe in. We don't believe anything. We don't use belief system in our practice here. But if you want to know your spiritual path and find out what to do that will work for you, then I will advise that you do a reading for yourself, and then you will find out what to do to figure out what is blocking your ways or your door, and remove that thing, and the path will be clear for you. Reading is always the best to do. Then we have a Mickey 1 temperature. Is it 1?
Yes, please.
Mickey 1 temperature. Nice to be here, to hear you.
Yes, please.
And nice to hear from you. Okay, thank you, Mickey. One temperature.
On YouTube, we don't have any questions yet.
Still on mute.
Ma o lè pọ̀ mi àgbà. Bẹ́ẹ̀ ló pọ̀ mi àgbà. Àlọ́ bẹ́ẹ̀ lè ẹ̀ dà dùn ẹ̀. Chibuzo, Papa, Mr. Senna reached me through mail and have sent my CV to him last week. Chris, okay. Okay, last week. I'm waiting to hear from him. Okay, Senna will be here in another 2 days' time. He'll be in Ghana, so I think they'll all sit down and then be able to send a reply to you. So Chibuzo, that's fine. Thank you very much for sending the CV. They will look into it and we'll see what you can do, and we'll let you know. And if there is the space for the internship, they will let you know. Thank you very much.
Please, you are going to YouTube. There's no question on YouTube, so we go back to it.
I think the Facebook too is.
Yes, there's no question on Facebook. Yes.
So can you do me a favor to pause there? Listen, I'm coming.
Yes, Papa.
Pause there. Everything up. I'm just coming because if there's not question, there's nothing for me to say. Jenna. Okay, let me just answer Jenna. Okay, we have Jenna Renee Handenson. Say, hello, Papa. I would like to know what are the other ways that ancestors manifest and show themselves when their children invoke them. I sometimes see the flashes of light out from the corner of my eyes. That's how I know that the spirits are around me. But is it normal to see sparks of light, energy moving in the air? Jenna, you see, everybody has their spiritual feeling, ways to feel spirituality. For me and most of my students, I don't think it's a flash of light that we see. And one thing also we do at African Magic Temple is that we don't just imagine seeing spirits. Unlike a lot of people who are following the Hindu yogic way and using that yoga or Hinduism or the practice of Oriental practices and bringing it into African traditional spirituality and mixing it and but not really getting clear. Because I myself have been a Hindu, but when I'm teaching African traditional spirituality, I make the distinctions very clear, and I can tell that here in African Magic Temple, we don't imagine seeing spirits or creating imagination in our heads that we are seeing energies or that. Most of my students, somebody come and do this, okay. Most of my students that are initiated have a very peculiar way of feeling energy. The moment they started invoking the ancestors, they feel vibrations through their body, their hands, their legs, and everything vibrates physically. It's not imagination. You can see it vibrating, they can feel it vibrating. So it is not like you imagine to see a spirit or this thing, but everybody has their own way of feeling spirit. Maybe the way you are feeling it is that's the way you are supposed to feel it. But for me, all my students that I have initiated so far, when they call spirit, the moment they start invoking ancestors, the vibration comes into their body. You can see their hands vibrating. Then they know that the presence of the energy they are invoking or inviting is there. But that doesn't mean that's the only way. There could be many other ways. Some people do not feel vibration, they may feel other things. But I don't know whether looking at flashes at the side corner of your eyes shows that energy is not there or spirits are there is the correct feeling. I cannot tell. I don't say things that I don't know. Yeah. So Jenna went on to say sometime. I think that's all. She's asking, is it normal to see sparks of light energy moving in the air? I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe. Do you feel energy in the air and see sparks of light? Okay, I'm asking Shamba.
Spots of light.
Yeah, if your ancestors are around. I don't know. Maybe those are either Christian or Oriental way. But for us, we have a peculiar way we feel energy, and then we know it's energy. We can even direct the energy to do certain things to let us know that it's the one that is here. So I that's why I'm saying that our practice here at African Magic Temple is not based on imagination. It is practical, and most people who have been initiated experience that practicality. It's not like imagining. Anyway, thank you very much. Thank you. And then we have Vivian Bakasi. Sometimes when I'm talking to people, I can tell them about things they are doing privately. I don't know, but it just comes out. Please, Papa, what that means? It means you are a born seer. Means you can see into people's private and secret lives, and then it is something that just comes. So your inner self is active. All that you need is to develop it so that you can do more for yourself and do more for other people. Then we have Kadi Fisher again. Say, Papa, can you explain why you give your ancestors alcohol, but why it's not given to your essay? A shoe? Is it a essay or a shoe?
No choice. She made essay, but she spelled it.
Okay. So the ancestors drink alcohol, but essay, when I was, essay was made for me, my teacher told me that I should not feed my essay with alcohol, because if I do feed my essay with alcohol, there will always be heat in my life. When they say there's heat in your life, means things will not be going on well for you. So I was advised to feed my essay, my destiny, with sweet drinks and cold water. So the ancestors are your essay is not an ancestor. The ancestors are people who have shared the same DNA with you. The voodoos that we work with are also not ancestors. A lot of people confuse voodoo and other things and calling them our ancestors. They are not your ancestors. They are spirits. Ancestors are people who had lived here at one time as human beings and passed on into what do you call it? They pass on to the other side or are dead. Those are the people we call ancestors. We don't call our voodoo's ancestors. So Ese is also like a voodoo in the sense that Ese in Ebe cosmology is the three gods that control the world. Mau Sobolisa, Mau Kitikata, and then Mau Ese. And it is believed that Ese is the one that came as you in the human form. Your inner self taking a human form. So Ese is actually the only God you should know. Because any other God, you came here to learn about it. But that Ese or destiny came into this world with you. So going to church or going to mosque or doing any other voodoo work or whatever, if your Ese is not properly in a proper place, your life will never be complete. You will continue suffering. I think not too long ago, recently, Christians also have started speaking about Ese, but they are just speaking on it on the general level. We say we are having a Destiny Summit. Destiny Summit. Yeah, I've been seeing the billboards in Destiny Summit. I don't know whether they really know what destiny is, and then they can have a summit, Destiny Summit. I don't know, but your Ese is your God that came into this world. That's why in Ebe, as I said, there are three gods: Subulisa, Kitikata, Mauga, Ese. And then these three are the divinity, the trinity of Ebe cosmology, and the Ese is supposed to be. Who is outside making that noise? So your Ese is supposed to live peacefully, it's not supposed to have it, and that's the reason why I was told that we shouldn't feed Ese with alcohol. The only day Ese drinks alcohol is the day that you are feeding your Ese as in a yearly feeding. And even that alcohol, you only sprinkle it from your finger tips onto the Ese, and that's it. And the rest you use water and the sweet drinks. So that's what I have been doing, and I have seen the benefits in my life. And I also heard people who were using alcohol who also have their own way of benefiting, whatever benefit they are benefiting. But I am teaching what my teachers taught me. But maybe there's somebody else who will tell you that you have to give alcohol to Ese. You should give it to it and see whether it will be your destiny or your Ese will work well for you. But what I was taught is what I am teaching people, and I have been seeing the practical benefits in following that path. But of course, in life you have to experience experiment. So maybe you can give alcohol to your Ese for some time and see whether it will still be as if you don't give alcohol. Just like we human beings, when you drink alcohol, you can see your demeanor, the way you behave and all this. And when you don't drink alcohol, also how you behave. So that could be something. Yeah. And then that is for the Ese. And then Kadi Fisher went on to say, Papa, how do you feel about burning ancestral money? Ancestral money is not African traditional spirituality. I had said this before. This is coming from Chinese. Chinese traditional spirituality is not African traditional spirituality. So there is nothing in African spirituality that I have learned over all these years whereby you burn ancestral money. There's nothing called ancestral debt. You are going to burn money and you go and pay. It is not in African traditional spirituality. This is coming from Chinese Oriental this thing. So I don't know, because in Asia, when I was in Asia, I realized that they have something they call money tree. And then, of course, there are so many deities and gods in Asia which are built on money or are related to money, how to get rich, and some of them are made in gold, especially the Thai one, which the cat that has a hand like this, supposed to be in your shop to draw money. It's a white cat. And then they have in temples, you see that people will use a stapler to staple money on tree, so the leaves becomes like money. Leaves is not real, but I have seen that, but it is not part of African traditional spirituality. What I am teaching here is more of African traditional spirituality. It has nothing to do with religion whatsoever, because religion is different from spirituality. So what we teach here, what I'm teaching is not that, but that concept of money and burning debt, ancestral debt. Your debt is not going to be paid in form of money. It's going to be paid in the actions and the reactions that happen to you, the actions that you take, and the reactions that will come afterward. That is how you get your pay. So it is not paper money that you send into an ancestral well or spiritual well, and then you pay your debt. Pay it to who? Who are you paying to? God? Who says God is living there? And God takes money and then let's say you pay your debt. These are all Asian, it's Oriental. It has nothing to do with African spirituality. The only time that I know that we use money in our traditional spirituality is when they are doing a say or a negative essay for you, and then you take a coin in your hand and give to the negative essay that if you owe it any money anywhere, you are paying with your left hand and your right hand, so it should leave you free. I think they didn't do that yesterday, or they did it. I think they did. It was so. They said they should bring coins. I think he gave.
Yes,
Yeah.
coins inside.
Okay. Because I wasn't there, you people were doing it. So that's the only time. And also when we are wiping poverty from you, that somebody in a reading and it is said that poverty is what is blocking your way and your doors, and you need to wipe poverty away. And it is those times that you use the money and wipe the poverty from you with affirmation, and then you throw the money outside, and if anybody pick that money, then the person has picked your vibration. But then to send money and set fire to it and say you are paying ancestral debt is not part of African traditional spirituality. It is more of Oriental spirituality than African spirituality. A lot of people are mixing up things and calling it African spirituality. People are talking about Ifa and they are teaching yoga. People are talking about Ifa and they are teaching yoga. That is not true. Yoga is Hinduism. It is Oriental. It is coming from India. So you can't be teaching Ifa and be mixing yoga into it and say this is African traditional spirituality. It does not exist. That's not what it is. Of course, when people do not get the proper training and they are just picking things from anywhere, people create a whole lot of things and bring confusion into people's life. And that confusion doesn't make you grow spiritually as far as African traditional spirituality is concerned. That's why people go, so I have voodoo, my voodoo is not working for me, I have this. Because what they give you is not voodoo at all, because it's not anything. It is just somebody's own imagination, and they created something and gave you, and it is not a spirit, so how do you expect it to work for you? So Kadi, African traditional spirituality has nothing to do with burning of or paying ancestral debt by burning physical cash or buying some paper in some shop, what they call the money. No, it doesn't work that way. Then we have Jenna Renee Henderson. I can see shadows passing swiftly after my libation is done. Yeah, so in your case, Jenna, then that means that's how your ancestors show themselves to you. That's why I said it earlier that we are all different and people feel differently. But my students, I don't feel that. And the way the students that I taught and also initiated, that is not the way. They feel the vibration directly. So that maybe for you, that is the way. Because you see, before you can really begin to see ancestors and feel them, they are always around you. That's why the other day I was telling you, when the wind is blowing, the air is blowing, the ancestors are around you. But for you to be able to really feel the ancestors and experience them on physical interactions, sometimes I would say it is what they will do for you when they ask you to do certain things. And that Like, for instance, your ancestors asked you to feed them. When you fed them, after that, whatever you had asked them to do for you, or the challenges that you were facing before you fed your ancestors, when the challenges are over, then you know that your ancestors have heard you. And then they are working with you. But to see them passing by in the form of light and shadows is not something that I have ever experienced. I've been in this for over 40 plus years. That is not what I have experienced. I don't experience my ancestors by that. So it's the power. The power you put us.
Yeah, so much power.
So maybe my hands press something.
But is it charging? Look here. Call Kofi to come and do this.
Okay, sir. Please call Kofi for me.
If you don't do it this way, it's not going to come.
Yes, this is charging.
Okay, that's okay. So, you are doing something there, and then it's affecting you.
No, please.
Charge your time. If it's still.
The charger is unstable.
No, if you want to bring like this, and it goes like this, and the charger holds it like this for it.
So
It's like you want to move it, so to now take. It's like you're just, because you push like this, then you know you want to go for it. You just see.
Okay.
So if the charger is holding it back, then
He
to
thinks
pull
we
it
want
back.
to move it to the back.
Yeah.
Okay. Let it be somewhere so that I can bring it closer to you. So that, yeah. Okay. So as I was saying to Jenna, some people may find their experience with the ancestral world different from others. But seeing shadows and lights, I don't know, but maybe that's the way things are with you. But I have never had that experience of seeing when praying to my ancestors and I see light or see some shadows flying. Or no, I don't see those things. And I believe very strongly. I've not heard so much from other people who are seeing that, because you see, African traditional spirituality is very, very, very practical thing. It has nothing to do with imagination. And you can also not expect that once you are praying to your ancestors, you start seeing them. No, that's not the way. It's all Christianity and those kind of things that create those illusions. Ancestors will talk to you either through your dreams, or they ask you to do something and you do it, and then the result materializes on the physical plane for you. But praying to them and seeing them flying by is not common. I have not experienced that. Maybe some people do, but for us, the path on which we are, that's not the way. But anyway, we are all different. We cannot say that we are the only ones who know. So maybe that's the way your ancestors appear to you. With me, as I'm here today in this journey for over so many years, I was never praying and saw my ancestors flying around me. No, I have not. That's the truth. But I experience my ancestors whenever I am praying and calling their name and using the listen. I feel vibration, and the vibration is real one. It's a physical one. Even people standing far away can still see it, or people close to me can see it. But to see people flying or things flying, I haven't seen that yet. Maybe it will happen to me in the future, but as for now, I don't know. No, people wrote a lot of things about how spirits. People teach that, if you want to see spirits, you should be looking at this and try to look at your side of your eyes. And when you see some shadow, that means spirit. I have never experienced that. I have never thought about that. I've never. I didn't teach that to anyone, and it has never occurred to me whereby I will be trying to. Some people will try to roll their eyes backwards like in Hindu meditation to be able to imagine things and they see things. I don't. Me, when I'm going to see things, they are going to be very practical in front of me. Yeah, but everybody has their own way. I can't say I'm the only one who know. Other people know. What I know is what I teach. What I don't teach, or what I don't know, I don't teach. I teach my experience. Yeah. So, Jenna, that's it. So, Vivian Bakar also said thank you. And then Jenna Renee Henderson went and said, I can stand in the mirror staring at myself, and when I close my eyes, I can see the white outline of my body shining even through my eyes, even though my eyes are closed, I guess. Please bring it down, let me see. Who is there, Kofi? Say, the white outline of my body shining even though my eyes are closed. I can still see myself. Some call it a clairvoyance exercise. I want to know if this is dangerous. I don't know whether it's dangerous or it is not dangerous because I don't practice that and I have not even read about it. Clairvoyance occurs in the mind, and it is through different initiations that you become clairvoyant or clairaudience. To develop your sixth sense or your extra perception ability, extra sensory perception abilities, you need to be initiated and you need to be trained practically. But then, of course, a lot of books have been written around, and people read from books and start practicing, and then maybe they are having experience. So I cannot tell whether it is dangerous or it is not dangerous because, honestly speaking, I don't teach those things. I teach people the practical aspect of how to see. We in AV culture, there are herbs that we squeeze on your eyes, squeeze into your ears, so that you can see and you can hear. But it is not just a one-day thing. You must be initiated, and then these things will go, because the spirit world is a very unlimited world where millions and billions of entities exist. One person cannot know everything. You can only know the angle where you are. And we are talking about African traditional spirituality. That's the angle from where we are talking. And for us to practice clairvoyance or to be able to know clairaudience and clairvoyance, we need to be initiated. We don't just imagine it and then it start happening. But some people are born with seeing. Just like what Vivian Bakar was saying, that anytime people come to her, she sometimes knows certain things about them without them telling her, and which is true. So such people are born, we call them natural born seers. But not everybody is like that. So if you are seeing your body after looking into a mirror and then you see your body after closing your eyes, if that's what the person who, or the book that was teaching it, and they say that's what it is to practice clairvoyance, clairaudience, maybe, but that's not how I teach my things, because I don't want to confirm things to you, and then later people refer to me that, oh, I said so. No, I'm not teaching that, and I don't know whether it is dangerous or it is not dangerous. Thank you very much, Jenna.
Yes, please, you have a question. Someone has been on Zoom for some time.
Okay, so why is the Zoom?
We are switching.
You are using Zoom? Okay. Is that Fatima? Zil. Okay, Miss Zil. Okay. Hello, Zil.
Oh, hi. Good morning.
Good morning.
I didn't have anything to say. I just came on here about 5 minutes ago. I was trying to get on to Clubhouse and listen, but I couldn't hear any sound and I wasn't sure what was going on. I think I need to update the app, but I couldn't hear.
The Clubhouse is supposed to be on. I don't know. Is it? Are you hearing me? And then maybe it's you who is not hearing me, but everybody else is hearing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I might need to update the app because it asked me to and I didn't do it. But then I couldn't, when I got in there and I didn't hear anything and I tried to figure out how to go and update it, I was struggling. So I just checked this. I went to Facebook and I saw the Zoom link, so I just clicked on the Zoom link.
Okay, go ahead. What's your question, please, Zina?
Oh, I don't have any questions at the moment. I don't think. I mean, I guess I can make up one right now. I had I have been thinking a lot about the divination thing and the readings thing, and so you know, there's people around me close. Like I just discovered in the past 3 months that one of my friends does readings, but I never knew because I guess I wasn't on the same frequency as her to get the information, even though I've known her for years. So I did a reading with my friend, and it was interesting. The first card that came up, one of the first cards that came up, she used cards and crystals, and anyway, so it was one of the first ones was woo woo is okay or something like that. It's all right to woo woo. And I was like, what is woo woo? And she started laughing and she said, you're a skeptic. And she said, woo woo is this right here, meaning getting some kind of reading. And so anyway, she asked me to prepare questions and what did I want to talk about. So I did that, and it was an interesting experience. She asked me what did I think about it afterwards, and I said, you know, it kind of felt like a therapy session with a friend, but I said it felt better than a therapy session because it was so much longer and more thorough, and it felt like a lot of stuff that you get from a counselor or a therapist, and a lot of stuff that you read in self-help books, how to help yourself, but, you know, the way it was organized to whatever you need to have the most right now. So I guess my conclusion from the experience was, when I was interested in starting to commit to getting massages, that I went and I tried a lot of different people out, like places and people, until I understood what I liked, like what I preferred and what I didn't. And then I settled on like a couple places that I would just keep going to. And it was kind of an investment of my time and my money for a while. And I kind of feel like, oh, well, you know, maybe that's kind of how this is with the readings and the divinations. Like, okay, this is another level of kind of like self-help that to explore and understand that there's a certain amount of time to invest in it that's needed. I don't know, you're smiling in a certain way. I never see your face because I'm on Clubhouse. So I'm looking at you right now on Zoom and I'm like, what does this face mean? Oh, I'm done.
Yes, go ahead.
Oh, wait, I can't hear you though.
Go ahead.
Oh, okay, now I hear you.
Go ahead. No, I was just listening to your story of the reading that somebody did with the card for you. So that's why I was just listening very well, because when we say reading, they have so many different divination tools and a lot of different types of diviners from different backgrounds. And everybody can tell you something once they call you reading. Some people even sit on the roadside, they will look at you and tell you, oh, this thing is happening in your life. And the pastors in the church also are doing the same thing, like reading, and they say, oh, God told us to tell you, we saw this, God said we should tell you like this. So everybody has their own ways of divination. But we cannot condemn one and say one is better than the other, because the diviners are all different people and from different backgrounds. However, when a person does a divination for you, the person is supposed to also give you a very clear direction on what to do to overcome whatever they saw in the reading. Apart from that, just to tell you, oh, there's a good thing coming your way. Oh, you're going to get a husband. Yeah, oh, there's this person who is dying to see you. There are so many these types of diviners also. But a divination without giving you a direction that to change the course of the challenges you are having is not a divination.
Mm-hmm. So how do you know when it's a good or bad one, or a person is good at it or bad at it? Is that even an appropriate question to ask?
Now, I don't understand your question very well.
Okay, so I've heard some people say that some of the readings are good and some are better than others. Like they're not always equally good. And I don't really know what that means because this is a whole new realm for me. Or I've heard a couple people say, some people are more gifted than others with it, doing the readings. So I just wanted to hear what you have to say about that.
You see, the word reading is a general word. Somebody can use cowrie and throw it down and tell you they are doing a reading for you. The person can throw the cowrie, but if he does not know how to interpret the fall of the cowries, they are also doing a reading, but they don't know what they are doing. You will say that they did a reading for you, because when a cowrie falls, a person who is doing a reading with cowries should be able to translate and interpret the falling of the cowries, how they fell and what it meant. So when you say a good reading and a bad reading, it depends on who is doing the reading for you. If the person really understands or understood what they are doing, then they are doing, and also the person has been tested and proven by other people many times that the person knows. And what the person will tell you should be something that resonates with you. And it is also not good to ask, the person asks you questions that, what question do you want my spirit to answer for you? The spirit should be able to know if it is a spiritual reading. The spirit by itself should know your question without you talking to the diviner anything about yourself or anything about your situation. That is what we call a reading at our shrine. But just that anybody open a tarot card and say I'm doing reading and it's called reading. I don't know who did your reading, and I cannot say the person is a good reading or bad reading. I don't have a problem with that either. So, since you were the one who experienced it, and you will know whatever she had told you, if it is okay and it resonates with you, then it's a good reading for you. But if what you were told does not correspond with whatever you wanted to know, then it is not a good reading. That's all that it means to have a good reading and a bad reading.
Okay. And so then after you have it, now I kind of feel like, am I looking for certain things? I know the tools that I need to exercise in order to resolve some things, but I feel like, I don't know, like, should I be extra aware of what I'm seeing coming to me as representing something that I was advised to look out for?
Oh, I think the person who is doing the reading is the one to caution you and tell you what they saw, and also to advise you so that you know what is coming towards you and what you should do to avoid it if you want to avoid it. And that's what it is. But me, who doesn't know what the reading is, I cannot give you advice and so this is what you should do, that's what you shouldn't do. The person who was doing the reading is the one who was seeing, and is the one who knows what they were seeing, and they are the ones who are supposed to advise you on what to do and what not to do. Reading is not a general thing that you did a reading with somebody and another person will have to advise you on what to do. The person who did the reading for you is the one who should advise you on what to do.
So if a person gets readings from multiple people in a similar time frame, like in a short time period, and I mean, I don't know what that is like either. I mean, are you expecting that things could be different from each person, or that there should be some similarities between all of them?
Like I said earlier,
if you have the same issues, the same questions,
is the reader, because if I am reading for you, I will do a reading with an oracle that will fall, and that oracle that will fall for you anybody in the world who understands that oracle could also still explain it to you in details, just like how I will explain it to you. But someone doing a reading from imagination and telling you something, I cannot tell what the person is saying or what is not saying is right or is wrong, because I don't know.
Okay. So I think what I heard you say is that specific method and the falls that you're using, it doesn't mean that oracle will universally fall for different systems, but using your method, if the oracle fell in that way, then anyone who is familiar with that specific method would interpret it the same way.
Yes, if we have something called in Afa, called Bemeji, and then we have something also called a Fumeji, and there are about 17 oracles there. When Bemeji falls for you in Eve Afa, when you take it to somebody, for instance, another Babalawo in Nigeria or in Costa Rica or in America, since it's Bemeji, they should be able to tell you the same stories of Bemeji and what things the Bemeji has seen for you. It is universal that the people will know that this is what is happening in your life and they can give you advice. But if it is just somebody's own extra sensory perception, ESP, who is telling you something, how can another person who is not in the same wavelength with that person be able to explain it? It is not possible.
Okay, got it, understood.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, Papa. Good evening. I had a question.
Yeah, good evening, Nuku. Please go ahead.
Okay, I wanted to ask about some plants. The Thai plant and then the snake plant. Do they have any spiritual significance?
Which one? What is the Thai plant and which one is the snake plant?
Okay, the Thai plant is sort of, people use it a lot for in front of their house. Sometimes it's purple or it's green with some purple edges.
And they call it what plant?
Thai plant.
Thai plant. Are you talking about Thailand as a Thai plant?
No, that's not the. I don't know whether it's from there, but that's what people call it. Thai. Thai.
Thai.
Let me see where
That's Thailand. Siam.
Yes.
Yeah, so they call it Thai plant. Yeah, but Thai plants are usually orchid. Is it orchid you are talking about?
Yes, I think yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah, orchid is the symbol of Thailand. It's a plant symbol of Thailand. Orchid, especially the purple orchid. So that's what they use as a nation, represent their nation as far as flowers are concerned. So when people are calling it Thai plant, they're probably talking about orchid because it is very popular in Thailand. And then which one is the snake one?
The snake plant. It's also green. People use it a lot in Ghana. It's green and it has some yellow edges as you think, but it's mostly green.
Okay.
They
call it a snake plant. Is that the Dracaena trifasciata? Is that what you are talking? And because they put it snake plant. Dracaena trifasciata.
It's a Sansevieria, I think. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's something like Sansevieria is the Latin name for the snake plant.
Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. That type cautious in how to grow. What is a snake plant? The common house plant, the Sansevieria trifasciata. Trifasciata is a native Asian and African. It can be. Please let me read Yeah, okay, I see what it is. They are calling it snake plant. Why do they call it snake plant? I don't know. I know that some of these plants are very poisonous, but some are okay. Sansevieria, okay. Sansevieria trifasciata, okay. Yeah, I see what you are calling snake plant, but I don't really know the use of the snake plant. And also the orchid, that is the Thai plant, as people may call it. Orchid, we have orchid in Africa, in Ghana too. And there is one, a particular one that I know the use of, we call Din Loso, the herb called Din Loso. And it is used, I think last time I was teaching about it at the shrine, that there's a herb that when you put it in your mouth and you chew it and you say anything, whatever you say will happen. That is also an orchid, but it's not like this Thai orchid, but it's also an orchid. It's a climbing plant that attaches itself to a tree, or it's a kind of they don't plant it on the ground. Yeah, so I don't know the use of the snake plant. I have seen a lot of people growing it, but I don't know any use of it. But then the orchid that I know use of is Diloso. And then Diloso is also Afa, Odu, Din, and Diloso. So that's how my teacher taught me, and he told me how to use that plant. And also warned me that I should be very careful when I wanted to use it. I had planted it, tried to plant it in the tree many times in my shrine, but I never got success in planting it. But I don't know the uses of the snake plant. Maybe those who planted it have some use for it. That's why they planted it. But I don't know the use of the snake plant.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you.
I don't know that I've used my first picture. I've seen my first picture to the Thai plant. I don't know that it's that one that you're talking about.
You sent it to them on WhatsApp?
The orchid, no. I've seen it on my Clubhouse profile.
Okay.
My picture.
Okay, so who is here can get the Nuku's picture on the Clubhouse, then we can see what Nuku is talking about, because
I don't know whether that's the orchid.
Yeah, but here is only a woman's picture. Okay. This is not orchid. This is not orchid. This is what we call a sonia. We call it tanda herb. It's also a tanda herb, one kind, but we call this one Yovo sonia. Means it is foreign to our place, even though we plant them here, but it is foreign to us. That is not orchid. That is, and they call this one Thai plant.
Yes, I think. Yes, that's what the person to the flower, to give me the flower, that's what he said.
Okay, I don't know this one. I know it, the herb is Yovonia or Yovosonia or something. So it means it's foreign to our place, but people have it here, but it has to do with the Sonia, not Athenia. We have Sonia, that's what is in Tobi Damalia's shrine. It's a herb of Tanda. But this is similar to it, but this one is said to be the foreign one. That's what we call it Yovosonia. So it is, I don't know it as a Thai herb, because I know the Thai herb should be orchid, but I cannot tell. Somebody has their own name why they call it so. Yeah. But this herb is supposed to be related to Tanda.
Wow, I see. Wow, then it's a very powerful herb.
Maybe. So, okay, anyway, thank you very much.
Thank you, Papa.
Thank you too, Nuku. Thank you very much. Okay, we have on TikTok and Kwekupoku. Okay, before Kwekupoku was saying, please, can anyone visit the temple and learn? Yes, anyone can visit the temple and learn. Then we have a Chibuzo again. Religious people believe one God can do everything. Is it also the same in African spirituality? Okay, in African spirituality, we believe that all the spirits, the deities, the voodoos, and everything are many but the same. What do I mean by they are many but the same? Means God expresses itself in nature, in trees, rivers, plants, animals, stones, mountains, and in everything. But at the end of the day, if there is a God that was before creation, then it is that God that has manifested itself into many. So you can't say this is God and that is not God, because we all know from the religious books and from the spiritual teaching that before mankind exists, there was God, and God was the only thing that existed before man. So the world was empty, there was nothing, or the universes were not there, but God created them. So how can you create something out of nothing? He can only create out of himself. So everything that is in the universe is an expression of God. So how do you see God in one and you don't see God in another? So in African traditional spirituality, we know that all the deities, all spirits are all working towards the same goal, and the combination of all of them is what forms God. So many together as one. But each and every aspect of God can be active without the other. You can use this hand to hold things without using the left hand. But if you want to hold something and you need the left hand and the right hand to hold it, then you have to use the left hand and the right hand to hold it. So it is. That's why when you look into Hinduism, you will see that they draw goddesses and all these things have plenty hands, 1,000 hands. That is only for very low-minded people to teach them, to tell them that one God can do many things at the same time. So it is not like you are thinking that God is solving somebody's problem, that's why he is waiting that when that problem is solved finish before it will come to me. So they depicted the goddesses and all these things, or the gods with plenty hands, just telling you that God is unlimited entity and can do anything at the same time, or can do all things at the same time. That's what it is. But when you are a very common and I don't know how to say it. I don't mean this to be an insult, but it's like when your mind has not reached there, you are thinking that figure is there, you get plenty hand. And that figure there has too many hands, and then you are scared of it. And they are just telling you that God is unlimited, can do many things at the same time. So he has so many hands, he has so many legs. That's what the Indian Hindu deities symbolizes. But people will take it on the literal level by saying that the God has too many hands. So God is plenty at the same time is one. So in African spirituality, actually it is nature that we look at as God, because that is the expression of God, and we see God in nature and we see nature in God. That's why we use nature to achieve results and solve problems. And so we use plants and anything that is in nature to bind, to create, to call, and to pay homage to. Thank you very much, Bokor. Chibuzo at that question. Yeah. I think we don't have a Kokupoku again saying thank you, Papa. location. We are on Spintex Road, but there is a number you have to call. We don't just like people just walking into us. If you want to come to us, you must.
Sometimes when I'm on my
Yes, who is on Zoom? S or KA? You want to say something? I think if there's any question and you want to ask me, please go ahead and ask.
So now I have a question.
Okay, thank you for joining. Okay, let's go on to Facebook and see. Are we done with the TikTok? I think some questions are still under. Yeah, we have Chibuzo is saying addition. I mean, voodoo Japata is mainly to protection. Can it also do healing? Yeah, Japata is voodoo that does almost everything. It's not only protection and healing. Japata does a whole lot of things. So those who have been initiated into it can tell what it does for them. And each and every one of us have our own experience and story to tell. That's why I kept saying that we are not a belief system or faith-based. The African traditional spirituality is not based on faith or belief. It is based on practicality, personal experience. And then you can tell your own story, whether God works for you or it doesn't work for you. We don't believe that you die before you see your God. Your God is always around and inside of you. So you can always experience Him if you know how. Then Chibuzo was saying, thank okay now. Thank you very much, Chibuzo. I'm very grateful. So now you can move on to joining the section. Very grateful. And then we have my Thomas say, hello, Toby, does your heart have any spiritual significance or offer any spiritual protection? No, my heart, I bought it from Nima. And it doesn't have any spiritual significance. I only wear it as how people wear hats, so it doesn't have any protection. It's just a hat for my head. Okay, we go on to YouTube. We have the Baba Edward Craig here say Enuledo Papa and all of Magic Temple. Thank you very much, Baba Craig and Enuledo. Thank you. And then we have our sister Juliet Austin saying good afternoon, Papa and AMT. I have had a challenging few weeks, sickness and accident, car accident. And I'm humbled by all the ways Spirit was present and showed itself. I'm grateful to you and your teachings. Oh, thank you very much, Juliet. Thank you very much. That's what we were just hearing now, that Cameron also had a car accident, but he escaped without harm. And you too, you are saying it again. Your spirit will always be with you, and spirit will always protect and guide you and show you the way. I'm very happy to hear that. We pray and that you get health and you'll be strong as you have always been. Thank you very much, Juliet. I'm very grateful. And then we have the one gray, is it gray?
Great joy.
The one gray joy. Papa, please explain the concept of reincarnation in the spirituality. Can reincarnation be a form of punishment for a past life? Yes and no. Yes, in the sense that when you reincarnate, you are coming here to continue your journey where you left off. And it is not that when we all have reincarnated many, many times in our lifetimes. And it is where we left off. That's why we continue from when we come back again. And if at one time in our life that we did certain actions that we didn't get the results for the actions or the reactions to the action, definitely when we come back here, we will have to pay for that action. And you can call it punishment. But you can just call it karma. Means when you sow corn, you don't expect to harvest millet. If you sow corn, you will harvest corn, and when you sow millet, you will harvest millet. No one works at Leventis and go to another place like Melcom to get salary. If you are working at Leventis, they will pay you at Leventis. When you work at Melcom, you will be paid at Melcom. You don't work somewhere and get salary another place. So whatever you do in your life, if it is good payment that you will receive. And when you do bad will come to you as a payment. So we call it karma. I won't call it punishment, but you are just the actions that you have created. You are reaping the reactions of the actions you created. That's what it is. What I know the chia.
Running the ball in there.
I'm going to budget. I know the chia. I don't know. Before so, Chinabe tell them that they prepare. The food should prepare quickly before everybody and the sun go. They should make some light soup, goat light soup. Sorry, those of you who do not eat goat, please sorry. We eat goat. But some people don't eat meat at all, so it's not a question of goat or chicken. They just don't eat meat. Our teeth are strong. We are always eating it. So anyway, whether it is a reincarnation is a punishment or it's not a punishment, that I cannot tell. But whatever you do, you will reap. Whatever you sow, you will reap. Whatever you do, you get a reaction. So if in your past life you were a good person, or you were on this spiritual path or real spiritual path, definitely when you come back into this life, you will continue from where you left off. And if you have used this path to destroy people in the past and you did not get your the reaction to the action that you have taken, then there is high possibility that when you come back into this life, you continue from where you left off and you will be paid very squarely. I know my master in India used to say that if your behavior is not good, your karma or your sanskara can lead you to even become like an animal, or sometimes even you become like a tree, or you may even become like a stone. And it will take you many, many crores of years with thousands of years to be able to get your spirit out of that state and come back into human life. So to have a human life is a gift that we should all cherish and be able to use it for the greater benefit of ourselves and to the benefit of humanity as a whole. That's what I know. So whether you're being reborn is a punishment or it's not punishment, I cannot tell. But definitely there is reincarnation. Okay, let's see some other questions, and then I think today's session have they brought our data back?
No, please, Papa.
These people are very wicked.
We have about 2 people joining on Zoom.
It's very crazy. So I should make a complaint, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So we have Matteo Trivet joining us, and Kwasi also is joining, and then Lisa McCarthy. The people join. So please, any of you have any question for me, please just throw your question into the circle, and we'll all juggle it out and see if we can. Oh, they're welcome. Yeah, I'm here. I'm not saying welcome. Anyway, we have Kwasi to everyone. Say hello, Papa. Hope you and the family are doing well. I want to ask about the wild wing. Does it have any spiritual significance or meaning? Thanks. Yes, in Ebe Voodoo, the wild wing is called Jehon. Jehon. It is in Ebe Afan also. Who is bringing that sex thing into our design? Please. Please cut that person off if you know who is bringing that thing. Don't let that thing come into our design.
Yes,
but there are people who think what you are doing, they must find a way to disturb it. So
it's more than one person.
So then cut them all off.
Yes, Papa, we are doing it. We are doing that. We are doing it.
Because I thought there are people who wanted to ask a question. If they are not ready to ask a question, don't put them in. Why do you accept them? Because there are some people who are animals, you know. They are not human, they are animals. But they, in their own head, they thought they are human beings. Just like I was telling you that the animals come into human form. Not the physical animal jumping and becoming human. They are mind, just like what reincarnation we are talking about. When people live from animal nature and coming into human being, they only have these 4 instincts: sex, food, shelter, and protection. Don't open them.
We are removing them. When they try to do that, then you just remove them.
So these 4 animal instincts are the only ones that when the person comes into human body will be experiencing and be exhibiting until they learn about here and come many times and learn about how to live among human beings. Then they begin to look for the greater, which is to look for the higher self. So all these kind of people are animals born, are coming into human body, and because they are looking human, they are human, so you would think that you are dealing with a human being. So these things we know. Yeah, we are nigger. It does not pain us whether we are nigger or we are not nigger. It's not something we worry about in Africa. It's you and your people. We are nigger. It doesn't mean anything to us. I'm not a slave. My father was not a slave. My grandfather was not a slave. So if you call me what you call me, I don't care. It's not something that I bother about, Mr. Lisa McCarthy. I'm not going to insult you. I'm not going to say anything to you. It is only in your head. If you insult me and I don't hear you and I don't know what you are saying, it is only in your head. It's only you who heard it. So it's up to you. Yeah. So let's go on to what do you call it? TikTok. Let's see if there's anything there. Okay, Kweku Poku is asking, who asked some question? There was a question that is on Zoom. I think it's Kwasi. Kwasi was asking that question before these animals also came in. I want to ask about the wild wind. We call it Jehon. Jehon or Yali. Some people call it Yali. Some people call it Jehon. And some people also call it Papadu. In Bando area, they call it Papadu. So it's believed to be a spirit that goes around carrying all things. The story in it is that the spirit Jeho has done so many bad things in life, and when it was revealed to him that all these things that he has done were a bad thing, he became so ashamed and wanted to enter into the earth and hide itself. So it started turning into to borrow a hole in the earth bed, all that it brought out is all the death that is in its life that you would rather be seeing, so you couldn't hide. So that is is believed to be a spiritual thing in our tradition. And when they do
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you. Magbanama or Vopetere? Okay, so we have Chibuzo saying thank you, and then Kwakupoku, please, how can I find you on Clubhouse? I think the Clubhouse, this thing is, what is it? Revolution. The Clubhouse handle is Revolution. Yeah, okay. So that's what Agbovivi has written. There's a Revolution. So you go onto Clubhouse and you type in Revolution, Kwasi, you will find us. Then we have India. Daisy is saying hi, and then Kasim is it Bahama or Kasim Ma? Say good evening, sir. Hello, Kasim. How are you? Thank you very much for joining the section. We are very grateful to all of you for today. We had so much challenges with the network, but we pray that during our rituals and end of year, we should be able to go have a smooth sailing. We have Juliet A. Papa, is there any significance to seeing repeated numbers often? Example 1111. Yeah, people say that when you are seeing repeated numbers, it's a sign that there is spirits are trying to tell you something. But the line of spirituality that I practice now, it is not about numerology. I have had some idea about numerology. I've practiced a little bit of it, but it's been years that. But in my numerological practices also, I have not really came across a repeated number that you see that tells you things. But these days I've heard so many people who tell me that they have been seeing some number repeatedly, and they say that it is a spiritual thing. And I always explain to them that I'm not very much conversant with that kind of spirituality, but it is very true that if something continue happening in your life, then it has a meaning. There must be some spiritual connection to that. So I believe it is some information that they are trying to give you. 1111. So it's something that they are trying to give you. Who and what is trying to inform you or bring your attention is what I would not know. But definitely it must be some information. Were we off?
Yes, the other phone we are using for the connection is going off. Is it
dead?
Okay. No, it's back online.
So thank you, Juliet, for that question. Okay, so let's go back to TikTok if there is any question there, because it's almost 5:53. So we have Ishmael 63 saying, Kasim saying good evening, sir. Then Israel 63, Ishmael 63 saying Papa. And then Adam saying good evening, sir. Adam is following, then Sarah and then Adam's, okay, they are all following. So
We don't have any questions.
okay, we don't have any
Hold on, please, Kwesi.
question. Is raised his hand. Okay, so go ahead and give him.
Yeah, Papa, sorry.
Yeah, go ahead, question.
I have this as a question.
Yes, go ahead.
I wanted to ask about the removal of negative effect. I wanted to know whether there's any benefit, when you remove it at an early age than, when you remove it when you are slightly older. Will it make any difference? Is it better when you do it at a younger age, or it doesn't really matter?
It doesn't really matter, but it also matters. Why do I say it doesn't matter? Because it is until you know about negative essay. If you don't know anything about it, how will you know how to remove it or even look for people to remove it for you? So it does not matter, because it is when you know about it, that's when you act on it. But if you have a child and you as a father, you know about negative essay and its challenges that it has with your whole life, and when it was removed for you, the changes that it has come into your life, if you have an idea about such things, then of course automatically when you give birth to a child, you would want that negative essence to be removed quickly for the child, so that the child's life will not have the challenges that you had when you were growing up. So that is the only advantage and disadvantage. But when you are old, before I grew up, I was almost 40 years plus before my negative essay was removed from me. Even though in our culture, in our story, in every stories, essay is an everyday word, but some of us did not really understand that essay is what controls your life. Your good things and bad things are all controlled by your essay. We didn't know. When the songs are being sung about essay, we all sing it and feel sorry and feel lonely and all this thing. But we practically we didn't know that essay was something that can be removed, or negative essay is something that can be worked on and then the positive will be encouraged. We didn't know. So I was over 40 years before I knew about it, that if your essay von or your negative essay is not removed, you will have challenges, or the things that I had been going through all in my life is because my negative essay was trying to be stronger than the positive essay. That's why I faced the challenges that I had faced. So I immediately did mine, and then I did for my children, so that they may not have the same challenges that I have had when I was growing up. And if I should have a child today, again, the first thing I would do is to make sure I structure that child's essay properly, remove the negative one, and then set up the positive one for the child, so that the child's life will not have the kind of challenges that I had had. So in any way, whether it is removed for you at an early stage or when you grow up, it doesn't really matter. It is the time that you come in confrontation with the knowledge of negative essay is what matters, and that is what we have to work on.
Okay, thank you so much. Just a quick follow-up on that one. In terms of you yourself, I suppose you had already started your spiritual practice before you removed yours.
Yes, I've started my spiritual lessons. I was even a monk in India in Tantra yoga and all these things, not knowing anything so much about essay, even though I am hearing the word essay every time.
Oh, okay. So when you moved yours, you saw changes, and maybe not almost immediately, but you did see changes in your life.
It has brought tremendous changes in my life, and also it has made me matured. It has brought a lot of benefits when I remove my negative essay. Changes that are very practical for everyone to see, not only you, other people around you too will see that changes have come into your life.
Right. Okay. Right, thank you so much.
You are welcome. So where are we now? Kasim I think is it full Mahama? Yeah, okay. Kasim Mahama is saying, Papa, things are not good for Kasim for remove your things are not good for me. Yes, that's why we are teaching all these things that we are teaching, so that people who want to change their destiny, people who want to change their life, so that they can be in, they can know how to live in harmony with nature. This is the purpose of our teaching, so that you can change your destiny. Yeah, because we all had challenges with our destinies. It's not like one person's matter, and we are doing our best to know how to live life so that we will have some peace and comfort in this lifetime. Not when we are dead before we go to heaven and enjoy peace. We want to have it here. What about when you die and go and there is no peace there? Then it's double agony. Because nobody had gone there and came back. It's only a story of people's imagination. But when you are here, you are feeling pain, you know. When you are happy too, you know. So at least you can know this one. So if it happen that you are waiting for that one and that place itself is bad pass here, that is double. That place is even worse than here. And because nobody went there and came back. So how are you sure that people are enjoying in heaven? Have you seen your grandmother come back? No, if she is enjoying, if she's not enjoying too, she know. But you here, you don't know. So at least start having enjoyment here, small. And if there's an opportunity for you to go to heaven, if there is a heaven, and you go there, then you add the one you enjoy here to the one you're going to meet. But when you are suffering here, so let me suffer, and when I go to heaven, I will enjoy. And if you, unfortunately, you don't go to meet good things there, my brother, you are finished. So let us look for what can make us comfortable here, and that's all Voodoo is for. How to live in harmony with nature so that you can be comfortable. So I think we are almost done.
Yes, please.
Yeah.
If there's any questions.
Yeah, I don't believe suffering is what makes you godly. Yeah, suffering does not make you godly. Otherwise, the white man should have actually accepted suffering. But you see, the white people, they always look for comfortability. Whatever will make them comfortable, that's what they look for. But they were the same people who brought the good news to us. So if you think that it is to suffer that is godliness, my friend, it's a lie. If God is with you, your life must be comfortable. You are not supposed to be suffering, because suffering brings pain. Who enjoys pain? Who can say that if you are having pain, then it is the best thing? No, that is not true. Your soul, your inner self, your essence, your destiny must live comfortably. There should be no heat in your life. There should be peace, love, and comfortability in your life. That's how it's supposed to be. Because the world is a strange place, and we are coming into this world to confront a lot of challenges. So how to go around and among it so that it does not disturb you too much is what we are doing here. So our teachings is to teach you how to live comfortably in this world with no guilty consciousness, feeling that you don't go and steal somebody's money and say you are comfortable, you drink competition, you drink this, tomorrow your money finished, you have no money, you hide inside your room, you don't want to come out because you don't want people to see that you don't have money. That's not what we are talking about. We are talking about doing your part and nature doing its part so that you can live very comfortably and live very peacefully without being afraid of anybody. Just living your life as natural as you should. I was going to say something today earlier before the whole program, but because of this internet confusions, I couldn't. But as we are getting to the end of the program, I was just reminded that I should say it. And what I was told a few days ago is that a lot of black people, whether they are African Americans or they are Africans in Africa or in the diaspora, whether they are Christian, they are Muslim, or they are traditionalists, they always thought that 99.9% of them thought that God is a white man. And that mental picture of looking at God as a white man have actually disenfranchised us in such a way that we as black people cannot stand on our own legs, because we always look to the white man to teach us, to tell us how we can live our life. That's why even your own traditional spirituality was told to you that it is evil, and you threw it away, and people threw it away. So 99.9% of Africans and Africans in the diaspora always have this behind them that God is a white man. And they are hoping that when they die, they will go to that master. That's why Jesus Christ is always called master. They will go to that master who is a white man, who has everything, and you dish it out to them, and then they will not suffer again. My brothers and sisters, You are your own gods. Go inside of you. Attack your destiny. Try to mold it in such a way that your destiny will work for you. Because your destiny, your essence, is the God that came with you into this world. There is no white man in the sky that is called God. And white man is not your God. It can be your boss because you are looking for a job or working for something, but it's not your God. Thank you everybody for today. I'm closing today's section.
Thank you. Have a good week.
Thank you, Zil. Thank you, and everybody on Clubhouse, Zoom, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. Thank you all for today. And then we have Mr. Don Jerry said, Daddy, you know something, I live close to you and I will definitely come and visit you soon. No problem, Mr. Don Jerry. I am here, and once you come in, if I am not outside the shrine, they will let you see me. Thank you very much. Oh, talk about my petty better. Yeah, we want to empty and talk away from me. We make it possible.
Okay.
May you all have a very successful week, and we are entering into the Christmas week. May your Christmas and there be a very happy one. I'm wishing you all a Merry Christmas in advance.
And next week by this time.
So next week Sunday.
Yeah.
Next week Sunday is Merry Christmas.
Yes.
So I'm wishing you Merry Christmas, everybody.
Christmas
In advance. The Vivian saying thank you. Thank you all. Okay. Bye bye for today. It's been a great day.